Hello. So we will discuss what if analysis in Excel. It's a 1 lakh rupees you are depositing in a bank, which is giving you 7.5% interest. So 7.5. So at the end of say 1 year, what will be your amount? It is compound interest. Then we have to apply say compound interest formula. Usually banks give compound interest. That is after 1 year. Second year, your original amount plus the interest amount will get interest. Okay, so after 1 year, the formula is, we have all studied principal amount into 1 plus rate by 100. It's already 7.5% is by 100. Then a raise to number of years, 1. That is B4. So B2, that is the amount, plus 1 plus into 1 plus B3, that is the rate of interest, raised to N, that is the year. And the answer is 1,07,500. That is 1 lakh will become 1,07,500 after 1 year because the interest rate is 7.5. After 2 years, if it is simple interest, it will become 15,000, 1,15,000. But in our case, it is compound interest, so it will be more than 1,15,000. Let us see. It is slightly more, 1,15,563. Now we will see what happens, say, in 5 years. 5 years, the amount has become 1,43,000. Now the question is, in how many years it will double? So I will use trial and error method. Instead of 5, I will put it 8 years. It has become 1,78,000, not doubled. So I will make it 9 years. It has become 1,91,000, still not double. So I will make it 10 years. So 10 years it is doubling. So answer is 9 years it is 1,91,000, 10 years it is 2,06,000. So it is somewhere between 9 and 10. So I can find it using trial and error, or I can use goal seek. So to select goal seek, the one which I have to change is the amount. So I will make it say 1 year itself, and then we will see goal seek how it works. The original amount, I will highlight the formula cell, go to data, what if analysis, goal seek. Here, this value, amount value has to become 2 lakh. So I write 2 lakh in the cell by changing the year, that is B4, and I click OK, and I get the answer 9.58 years. That is 9 years, 6 months plus maybe 9 years, 7 months. The amount will double if the rate of interest is 7.5%. Now the question is, if the rate of interest is variable, that is, we are investing in some share market or something, I want to know in how many years my money will double. Or say, I want to double my money in say 5 years. Okay, so I will make it say 5. Now, 7.5% is only making my money 1,43,000, but I want to double my money. So I want to find out a mutual fund scheme which will give a particular rate of return which can double my money in 5 years itself. So for that, how to solve it? Again, we will go to goal seek. This time we will change the rate of interest. So goal seek, data, what if analysis, goal seek. So B5 has to become 2 lakh, again same. And the cell to be changed is rate of interest. If I click OK, automatically Excel calculates the answer for me, which is 14.87%. That is something near to 15%. If a mutual fund promises 15% return, or a share promises 15% return, my money gets doubled in 5 years itself. Okay, now let us see what is scenario. Scenario is we can compare multiple cases. Okay, so we will say, take the same example, 1 lakh rupee, 7.5% interest, 10 years, it becomes 2 lakh 6,000. Now we will create multiple scenarios. Okay, say 0 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 year, 50 year. So how to go about it? So I am changing the year. I will select the year cell. I will go to data, what if analysis, scenario manager. I will add a scenario. So first scenario is say 0 year, no change. Okay, so that we can compare 0 year, I will type 0 year. Okay, and I will write here, it's good to write a comment, amount after 0 years. And I have to, by changing cell, is this cell, B4. And I have to click OK. And here the B4 should become 0. Okay, so that is, it's meaningless, but to compare, we will just do that. And I click OK. So one scenario will be shown 0 year. I can add another scenario, 10 year. 10 year. Okay, amount after 10 years. And I can give 10 here, 10 years here, and click OK, or I can click add. And I can have another scenario, 20 years. Changing cell B4, the comment should be amount after 20 years. And I can click OK. Here I have to make it 20 years. If I click OK, I can see the 3 scenarios. I can add one more scenario, 30 years. I can add the comment. Comment is for our purpose, so that we can remember why we created this scenario, 30 years, and I will give it 30 years. If I click OK, I will get 10, these scenarios. I will add one more scenario, 50 years. 50 years. And I will add the comment after 50 years. And I will click OK. 50 years. It will give the following outcomes. Now we will have to create on summary, which will create the scenario summary report. So I will just click on summary. So that time it will tell me which is the formula on which we have to create the summary. So here I have to select B5. B5 is the formula on which the summary has to be created, because that is, and the scenario is we are having different years. I click OK, and this is, we get the different summaries. Okay, so here it says that currently it's said 10 years, the amount is becoming 2 lakh. If it was initially it is 1 lakh, in 10 years the amount at 7.5% became 2 lakh. In 20 years the amount became 4 lakh 24,000, 30 years 8 lakh 75,000, 50 years 37 lakh. So this is how the scenario works. So next we will see data table. Data table is similar to scenario. In data table, we can have a table with the headers in row or headers in column. Okay, so here we suppose I am taking row, say year in row. I want to have different years. Okay, say year 0, year 10. Okay, and like that, we will have a combination, say till 50 years. Okay, so 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And currently, suppose here this is our condition is 7.5% interest. And we know at the end of 1 year, it becomes 1 lakh 7,500. Okay, so to make the data table, we should have the formula cell next to the table. This is the table. The formula cell should be here. So our formula cell was here. That same cell we will write of equal to this cell value so that the formula is repeated. It's the same thing next to our table. Now we have to select this entire area, the formula cell and our data table. Okay, we have to select something like this. I hope all of you can see it. Then you go to data table and go to what if analysis, go to data table, and here the row is the input cell because in a row we are having different values and the row is year. So I will have to select the row years before and I just click OK. Automatically we will get the answers. So we see in the beginning the amount is 1 lakh. After 10 years it is 2 lakh. After 20 years it is 4 lakh. After 30 years it is 8 lakh. After 40 years it is 18 lakh. And after 50 years the amount becomes 37 lakh 18,975. Now the same data table, I will just delete this. The same data table, okay, I will delete this also. Say I want data in column, maybe interest rate in column. So again, I will have one cell where I will repeat the formula, same formula, B5. And here I will have the interest rate. So interest rate is originally it was 7.5. Okay. And then the interest rate is changing, suppose 8%, 10%, 12%, 16%, 18%, 20%. Okay, and say number of year is say 10 years. Okay, so after 10 years, my amount becomes 2,06,000 if it was 7.5%. Okay, now I will create a data table. Again, select this area. Here the formula is in the second cell and the interest rates are in the first cell. Okay, and now I go to data and data table, what if analysis, data table. Now it's column data. It's in the column data and in the column data, it is rate of interest. So I will select the column data and I will select rate of interest, cell number B3 and I click OK. So automatically it will give me how 1 lakh changes if the rate of interest is different. If 1 lakh in 10 years will become 2 lakh if the rate of interest is 7.5%. But if the rate of interest is 20%, suppose some scheme is giving you 20%, your 1 lakh amount in 10 years itself will become 6,19,174. So this is data table with one variable, which can be row or column. Now let us see data table with two variables. So for data table with two variables, what we will again the same formula we will have to copy. This final formula. Final formula should be in the first cell of the data table of two table. So I will copy this formula here, or we can begin from the here also, but it looks better if I have it the data table like something like this. Okay, so I will have years in the row. Okay, so here I will have say year 0, year 10, year 20, year 30. Okay, and I will have rate of interest in the column. Okay, rate of interest is 7.5. That is the original question. And then we have say 8%, 10%, and say 12%, 16%, 18%, 20%, and say 25%. Sometimes some schemes you may get 25% also. Okay. And now we will create a data table. So it is Very simple. You have to just select the area where the table has to be generated. Okay, so this is the area 0, 10, 20, 30, the years and the different rate of interest. And you have to go to data, what if analysis, data table, and here row input is the year and the column input is the, okay, now you can see column input is the rate of interest. Row input is B4, column input is B3. I click OK, automatically I get combination. So it says that amount of 1 lakh will become 1 lakh only in the beginning. It's 1 lakh only in the beginning. It becomes 2 lakh in 10 years with 7.5% interest, and it becomes 9 lakh in 10 years with 25% interest. Suppose a mutual fund is giving you 25% return, the amount becomes, in 10 years itself, it becomes 9 lakh. Similarly, in 30 years, your amount will become 8 lakh 75,000 in 30 years at 7.5% interest in the bank. But if it's invested in some other scheme, which can give you 18% interest, the amount can become as big as 1 crore 43 lakh 37,064 rupees. If the interest rate is 20%, the amount can become 2 crores 37 lakh. And if the interest rate is 25%, the amount becomes 8 crores. So that in 30 years, okay, it's a long time. But that is the comparison we can understand with data table. So I hope all of you have got a good idea about this, and you can practice and you can learn better about what if analysis. So thank you for watching this.